What's up, guys? It's your boys Wokey back out with another Chris Watts video, and today we're looking at a new YouTube channel. This one is only spoilers. Apparently, this person studied criminal profiling, forensic linguistics, body language, and criminal psychology. That's a lot more than I know, and I want to know what she knows. So, we're going to watch this together. This is the tale of two Chris's and two NKs of We Were the Watts series. I'm definitely intrigued. So grab a chair, get comfortable. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel by hitting that white bar icon down at the bottom right. Hit the bell icon next to it, so when I do post videos like this one, you guys will get that little ring notification that I've posted that video. And then you guys can watch, comment, like, and share. And again, I thank you guys so very much for the love and support you guys show on my channel. Show that same love at Only Spoilers. Link is in the description below. If you don't want to watch with me, I completely understand. Link is in the description. Go watch it over on the channel. And with that being said, let's get into the video. Only Spoilers!
Welcome everyone, this is Liz and this is my new series, We Were the Watts. This first episode is entitled A Tale of Two Chris's. Spoiler, both Chris's are morons. Let's begin, shall we?
And so are both NKs, because apparently there's two sides to NK as well.
So can we talk about A Tale of Two Chris's?
That's what's in my head, like, if they're safe right now, they're gonna come back. But if they're not safe right now,
Started wondering what it might be. They didn't have a wife
If they're safe, they're gonna come back.
to take care of and a girl to take care of. Spent some time alone. Liked that time alone. Came home. May or may not have had a conversation about how to get out of this marriage or how to fix it, but probably how to get out of it. And did something terrible.
Chris Watts, W-A-T-T-S.
Look at that rash. I wish that we would know what that is.
Wow. What's going on right now around your house?
Right now, you got K9 units, the sheriff's department. Everybody's like they're doing their best right now to figure out like if they can get a scent.
On August 13th, 2018, in Frederick, Colorado, Christopher Lee Watts murdered his pregnant wife Shanann by strangulation, along with his two children, Bella and Celeste, by smothering each of them. Chris claims they have gone missing and gives a media interview on his front porch the very next day.
See where they went. If they went on foot, they went in a car, or they went somewhere. And right now it's just like they've been on point. They're going through the house trying to get a scent, and hopefully they.
This guy's gotta be on something. Like, does his words make sense? Like what he just said? It's like he's on something, or he's drunk.
Can pick something up to where it's going to lead to something.
This interview was the first many of us heard of this case. Was this a genuine plea for the safe return of his family? Or was this just another case of someone doing something unbelievably heinous and then being brazen enough to conduct an interview like this one? Of course, we now know what happened, but did Chris give us any clues of his guilt? We can look at his facial expressions, his body language, and his word choices that definitely give us a frightening glimpse into the real Chris.
I wonder if she's ever done NK.
This is the body cam footage of the officer and the canine dog handler making entry into the Watts home right before this interview begins. Knowing that the officers and dog are inside while giving this TV interview is our first glimpse into Chris Watts' personality. Chris has the confidence and composure.
So when the dog barks, it's alerted to something. It's alerting to the porch. Why?
To speak to reporters while police were conducting.
Because I do believe that this dog is the one that barks for traumatic or trauma. The other one, the golden retriever, or not golden retriever, German Shepherd, that one is for cadavers, deceased people.
A search inside. One might argue that he is relatively composed because he thinks he has covered up anything that could possibly point towards his guilt.
Smells like cleaning, doesn't it?
The handler makes note here of that.
Why would you need cleaning fluid? To clean up? Duh. But what would he have had to clean up if it was a strangulation slash smothering, defecation, and so forth like that? But I just see other things happening that didn't go down that we know about. Does that make sense?
Strong smell of cleaning products. Note that this is a carpeted room, so those were used elsewhere and are so strong it's hitting them at the front door. I'm including this part of the search where they reach the basement because many people, myself included, think that parts of the crime occurred in the basement. I've devoted an entire episode just to the body cam footage and these searches. Once he pled guilty, the investigation stopped, but there were so many
She came home from the airport 2 a.m. and I left around 5:15. She was still here, and like about 12:10 and that afternoon, her friend Nicole showed up at the door. Like I had texted Shanann a few times that day, called her, say, but she never got back to me. But she wasn't getting back to any of her people as well, and
because her phone was in the couch, you Nimrod, and you knew that.
That's what really concerned a lot of people. Is like she's not getting back to her. Like she doesn't get back to me, that's fine. Like she gets busy during the day, but she didn't get back to her people, which was very concerning. And Nicole called me when she was at the door.
People that are guilty give way too much more information that they need to do. Oh, who else did that? NK.
And that's when I came home.
Only
by
that's
omission.
Not when he came home. He only came home when the police who had arrived called him. His hand was forced, and for him to not come home would be immediately suspicious. Nicole Atkinson and her son were there a long time. They called Chris multiple times. Chris told them to leave. Chris told them nothing was wrong. Chris said, do not call the police. Get off of my property.
He said it to Nicole, and he said it to Addie.
And then walked in the house, and nothing was vanished. Nothing was here.
Nothing was here, as in
Was here?
no evidence of foul play.
Like, how about you talk about your family like they are people? Nothing was here. Nobody was there. Oh, just when you you're so mad at something, you just want to yeah.
Corrects himself though. He realizes that's not what you say. You say no one was here. The real Chris slipped out with that statement.
I mean, she wasn't here. The kids weren't here. Nope, nobody was here.
What's your wife's name?
Shanann. S-H-A-N-A-N-N.
He smiles.
Bella and Celeste.
Or a little smirk.
C-E-L-E-S-D-E.
How old are you?
4. Bella's 4. Celeste is 3.
He doesn't seem to have a problem saying Shanann and spelling her name. However, he does a long blink when he speaks his two little girls' names, Bella and Celeste.
Okay.
It could be eye blocking. He could be remembering what he's done, and he's just trying to block it from himself. He's getting nervous here. He licks his lips. He's probably getting dry in the mouth as the questions ramp up, and he tries to swallow. You can see a big swallow,
Yep.
which is kind of indicative of nervousness.
4. Bella's 4. Celeste is 3.
And so, how many times did you try calling her?
I called her 3 times, texted her about 3 times just to say, what's going on. Like because after I called her and texted her once, it's like.
How about you tell the news people that you're getting ready to divorce her and separate it because you found another mistress or a mistress, not another one. I think those other mistresses or Mr. the Troy Bolton, whatever, or Troy, whatever his name was just a distraction to get it off of NK. To show that he was messing around with other people, apparently.
Right. maybe she was just busy. Like she just got back, you know, like everybody's probably calling her from her trip. She just got back from Arizona, and I figured she was just busy. But when her friend showed up, that's what it was like. It registered like, all right, this isn't right.
Of course, he was registering that something was going wrong with his plan, not that something was wrong with his family. He knew where they were.
And when NK sits there and says that she can't sleep at night because she's so worried for this family that's missing, she was scared about herself getting arrested.
Whatever it was, his big plan that was rattling around in that peanut-shaped head of his, it was going wrong fast. His plan allowed for time to dispose of Shanann's purse, her phone, the kids' car seats perhaps, and maybe even had time to pawn that ring.
Do you think she just took off? Do you think?
I mean, right now I don't even want to just like throw anything out there. Like,
The criminal will tell us what they did with their choice of words. They can't really help it. They leak out a little bit of truth in their phrase. They can grab any phrase or word from their vocabulary, but what will often come out are the ones that are in the forefront, that often have to do with the thing that they're covering up. I don't want to throw anything out there, which is sadly ironic. We know now he had thrown out his family.
Right now, I don't even want to just like throw anything out there. Like,
I hope that she's.
And then when you watch the NK interviews and stuff like that, you use these same kind of tactics that these professionals and the people that have learned and studied these criminal psychology and all that stuff. You try to use that for NK's interviews to see if you could see the same thing with there's lies in her, or there's truth in her lies.
We're safe right now and with the kids. But I mean, could she just taken off? I don't know. But if somebody has her and they're not safe, like I want them back now. Like that's what's in my head. Like if they're safe right now, they're gonna come back. But if they're not safe right now, that's the not knowing part. Like,
as an aside, I have been interviewed for the news, and it can be nerve-wracking, and you can stutter and stumble.
I've been interviewed by the news 5 times. One time for Zwoki stuff, one time for a snow castle that I built in another town. That was when I was 12. Another time, what was it? During the Avengers Endgame premiere. And the other 2 times it was during Army days when I was there and I was around the vicinity and I talked like one word. But it can be, how would you say it? It can be nervous, reckoning, but I mean, everybody's different. People are shy. People are camera ready. Chris, he's none of that. He's all the above whacked up. But I think he also was trying to watch what he was saying. So he made sure that he didn't say anything wrong. But when he was using like things like they were or was and stuff like that, he wasn't thinking past tense. He was just, his brain was just kind of going through the motions.
I do so in this video. However, he kind of makes a buffoon of himself by stating the obvious, that if his family is safe, then they're safe. If they're not, then they're not. The reason he's having difficulties here is because he can't access the correct emotions that he should be having, and then in turn can't articulate and express those emotions in a way that makes sense.
if they're not safe, last night I had every light in the house on. I was hoping that I would just ran over by the kids running in the door and just like barrel rushing me, but it didn't happen. And it was just a traumatic night trying to be here.
Okay.
I absolutely believe him when he says he's traumatized and that he couldn't stay there. Because
I think he was traumatized because, one, the girls were not murdered by him, because I feel that they got they got in the way, and he had to remove them so that they didn't tell the police. So
we know he's a coward. He had just dispatched his family earlier that day with his bare hands. And just like a kid when it comes nighttime, and you try to keep all the lights on so you don't see anything you don't want to see, he had to get out of there. There was dead silence where there used to be laughter and conversation. And he couldn't sit there with himself and what he had done.
what somebody had done.
I'm going to ask some kind of questions. Your relationship with the kids?
I mean, yeah, my kids are my life. I mean, those smiles light up my life. And there's like...
Thank you, Chris, for illustrating perfectly for us what a sociopath can look like and what they are
Exactly
capable
him.
of. Look at his face as he's telling you the smiles light up his life, knowing they will never smile again. He knows they're gone. He knows exactly where he's left them. And he doesn't hope to see them again.
I wonder if he ever told the news crews that he was looking for getaways for going to the mountains with his new mistress now that he had murdered his entire family.
He hopes no one will discover them.
And there's like, I mean, last night, like during, like, when they usually eat dinner, it was just like I miss them. Like, I mean, I miss telling them, hey, you got to eat that, or you're not gonna get your dessert, and just like you're not gonna get your snack after. I miss that. Like.
Thank you for the food we eat. Thank you for the birds I see. Thank you, God, for everything. Amen.
I miss them, cuddle up on their couches. They have like a Minnie Mouse couch and a Sophia couch that they cuddle up on and watch, something. And it was just like,
He corrects himself mid-sentence from telling us the truth yet again. Only this time he actually realizes saying I was creeped out is not appropriate for the situation that he's in.
And for nobody to be here last night and to go into their rooms.
Saying I was creeped out is not appropriate for the situation that he's in.
He accidentally said
it. For nobody to be here last night and to go into their rooms and know that I wasn't going to turn the rain machines on. I know that I wasn't going to turn the monitor on. I know I wasn't going to kiss them to bed tonight. It was...
See, he's trying to push crying to show that any emotion that he could possibly use. I can hear the tone in his voice change.
It was... that's why last night was just horrible.
Sometimes when a sociopath or pathological liar is telling you something, they will give an abundance of really unnecessary details. It kind of bolsters what they're saying. It's filler. However, in this case, it serves two purposes. It bolsters what he's saying, but it also bolsters his facade as the good dad. He's detailing for you what he does every night for his girls. It's their nighttime routine. But do not let yourself get caught up in those details, that chaff. Because he does tell you the truth again here. Even though that night they could have come home, they'd only been gone a partial day. He's telling you he couldn't stay because he knew he wasn't going to.
How much do I bet he heard voices? He heard screams. He heard something that scared the living daylight out of him. That's why he probably didn't want to stay at the house again the second night. That's why he stayed with Nick and Amanda Thayer. The place was haunting for him. And I'm hoping he's haunted and he's remembered, or he has to remember this every single day in his cell. And there's creepy shadow figures that come for him at nighttime. I hope all that happens.
Be able to put them to bed and say goodnight that night. Because of his sociopathy, he really can't access the vocabulary of a feelinged person. I think most will agree that if you were missing your wife and kids, that you wouldn't think about yourself. You wouldn't prioritize yourself and your emotions and your well-being by leaving. You would be concerned only with your family and what they were going through. And Chris saying, it's too hard for me to be here, and it's too traumatic, it's too traumatizing, with no mention of the trauma or the difficulty his family could be going through.
It was, that's why last night was just horrible. I couldn't do it. I want everybody to just come home. Right, wherever they're at, come home. That's what I want. So you're supposed to get home like 11, she got home at like 1:48. Got in bed about 2.
This can be confirmed with the door cam footage of Shanann returning home. Nicole Atkinson is there in the background in her car, making sure she gets in the door safely. Ironically, she was not safe, and she had been feeling very sick the entire weekend and was worried. She had no doubt seen the charge for the lazy dog. That was far more than what Chris would have spent for just himself, and she may or may not have suspected. She may have been hoping against hope that he wasn't having an affair, but this would be a telltale sign of that.
So the salmon is $25.95, and the bill was like $66 or something like that, $62.
Especially given that he was secretive about it.
Or did you guys get into an argument before she left?
It wasn't like an argument. We had an emotional conversation, but
how did the news find that out? That they had an argument? Or did that news company just like hit the nail on the head kind of thing and just thought they could go with it and see if, yeah, that's what happened?
I'll leave it at that, but I just want the back.
I'd like you to look and weigh in on what many of us, including myself, believe to be wounds inflicted by Shanann and or the girls. I have increased the saturation and the contrast just to make the shapes more apparent. I did not alter in any way the shape of the wounds. I see some on his neck, possibly up near his ear,
it kind of looks like
his beard. These would obviously,
like somebody else was trying to stop him, kind of thing. Like they did this with the thumb, kind of thing. Just saying.
Indicate a struggle had occurred. Whether the police had noted these or not is not exactly important, as they already realized that something bad must have happened and that Shanann and the girls did not leave on their own. Chris, in fact, backed his truck into the garage, which he had never done before. Law enforcement would have already been looking for a motive, and often that motive is a mistress. And
the motive was money, lust. I don't know if the lust equals the woman too, but both of those.
Mistresses are to be found often at the husband's place of work. So it would be a misconception to say that the mistress came forward of her own volition.
She did not.
That is partially true. Their place of business would have been legally obligated to contact her and let her know that she was mentioned while the police were investigating, at which point she could choose to come forward on her own or wait and possibly take the chance of looking.
I think it's because she went in there to complete the damage control right off the bat. The faster you get in there and remove it, kind of thing.
Guilty in some way. They would have known, sadly, because of previous experience, that there are two sides to people sometimes. Not all sociopaths become murderers. I believe that they're capable of it. I think they have to come across something that they want more than their previous life, and or they have someone who emboldens them to do what they already were capable of or wanted to do in the first place. You know that people can suddenly do something horrific, but it's hard for us, especially when looking at this case, because we see the side of Chris in these videos that does seem very loving and caring and attentive to his wife and children. It actually seems like he goes above and beyond as a father. Does all of these things that...
So that's why we believe that somebody else did the crimes.
Maybe a lot of other dads aren't involved in. So we give them this extra credit, I suppose, because we see these videos and such. This is just his outward facade. He may not even actually realize that it is his facade. I don't really give him the credit of being very introspective at all. Chris was one day getting everything that he needed out of life. A beautiful wife, beautiful kids, a beautiful home. Everyone looked at him as a provider, a loving husband, and a loving father. And he got a lot from that. Until he didn't. And he wanted something else. And sociopaths do need immediate gratification. And unless you have been in contact with someone like this, I don't think you can fully understand that when a sociopath or a narcissist is done with whatever it is that you had to give
Throw
them.
you away.
They are done with you. They can turn whatever that was that they had for you that maybe you previously thought was love, they can turn that off. But we know as healthy, well-adjusted human beings that love does not work that way.
Yeah.
And you will never know. And
we don't have to Google how to love kind of thing.
Again, I know this from personal experience. You will never know that the person that you have loved and trusted is a narcissist or a sociopath until the day that they do not get what they want. And the day that they no longer are getting what they want, you see the other side of them.
Like
Shanann provided for Chris the blueprint, the simple blueprint of what a good husband and father looks like. He just needed to follow along with that, and it was kind of like this recipe for his wonderful life. And he probably would, like he said, if he had never met his mistress, he may have never done anything like this. He would be out of jail. He would have celebrated the birth of his son. They would have still been a happy, loving family. That may or may not be true, but he still would have been the person capable of doing exactly what he did, which is annihilate his family.
Guess when you want to, it happens.
So for those who just can't get past that smiling, doting husband and father that we see in the videos, that
me every
just
time.
can't reconcile this good Chris with the Chris that would dispatch his entire family, lay his hands on them and then put their bodies in oil tanks and then go on live television to say that they are missing, to lie in an interrogation
you want them
room
back
for hours on end. For those people who can't see that that is the same person and that he must have been driven to do these things by Shanann or by his mistress,
by NK,
I would like to bring to the forefront two statements that he made after he was incarcerated that bring his sociopathy to the forefront. And I want you to consider these. The first is that he feels that God has a better plan for him than to sit in jail. Well, I believe that too. God did have a better plan for him. He had a better plan for Shanann and the two girls and baby Nico. But because we have free will, he decided that his plan was best.
And I just want to get out of here. I know that God has a plan for me. It's not to be in prison right now, but not stay here. Because he brought me here for a reason. But he also wants me to do something on the outside. I know I just can't sit here and just wait.
Yes, you can.
The second thing that he says that shows he's a sociopath and without remorse is that he thinks he is being harshly judged and that he shouldn't be so harshly judged. After all, that was just one day of his life. Essentially what he's saying is this: he should be judged by all of the wonderful things and all of the years that he was a good person. Focus on that. Don't focus on this one day, this one little old day of his life. It just happens to be the day he killed his entire family. This is the most striking example of someone who is a sociopath and a malignant narcissist. This rings true to him. This logic makes sense to him because he's that self-centered and without remorse. This truly is a scary look inside his thought process, in that he's sitting there after the fact with plenty of time to think about what he's done, and his takeaway now is he's being unfairly judged by people for that one little old day of his life.
And Bella, Celeste.
Shanann, Bella.
See how he closes his eyes now? Like, I've noticed that on a few people when they do that, they keep their eyes closed because they're trying to memorize what they had with that person, and maybe it does hurt them a little bit, but I don't know. I just, now that she said that, I'm like watching eyes religiously now.
Celeste.
The exact moment that he speaks Bella and Celeste's names, he eye blocks. He does a long blink that's
Eye
not present
blocking.
in the other parts of the interview.
If you're out there, just come back. Like, if somebody has her, just please bring her back. I need to see everybody. I need to see everybody again. This house is not complete with.
Ironically, in his final plea, when he says that he needs to see them again, ironically, he closes his eyes for the long.
Oh, like when you see them again when you're eating pizza and the picture's right in front of them. That bothers me too. He's nonchalant, able to eat pizza with his dead family's picture right in front of him.
Longest period, he is either distracting himself or cannot face the lie he's telling or see the reaction of the person he is telling the lie to. Watch as he takes the mic off. You will see a slight,
He looks annoyed.
but very obvious demeanor change. From caring and worried father and husband to a little mug. I think he thinks he's knocked this interview out of the park and that he's going to get away with this. And I don't doubt that he's gotten away with a lot of lies in his life.
Oh, yeah.
Just by having that facade of being a good person who's low-key and doesn't like confrontation and is willing to please. But beneath that is also someone who feels entitled to what they want. He was previously getting a lot of narcissistic supply and attention from being that good husband and dad. But he doesn't want that anymore. He has found something that he wants even more. And although he had choices, he decided that the best plan of action to save his integrity as the good husband and father would be just have them go missing. Then he doesn't look bad.
He
Now,
looks
there
like
were
the
a few
good guy.
catalysts that spurred this on, and those will come in the following episodes. I've hardly
I definitely want to watch more of her stuff. She sounds very well put together. She knows a lot that I wouldn't know. That's why I always say I'm not a professional. Let's get the professionals in here. I want to start looking for more professionals like DAs and retired detectives. If you guys are one of those kind of people, I would love to do a video with you talking about the case and your aspect and so forth, what you would do in your case. Go ahead and message me on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, letting me know if you are a retired lawyer or whatever have you, and you want to put your 2 cents, and we'll do a video together. I think that'd be definitely fun, and to learn more and to educate those that want to sit there and tell us that us people behind the keyboards are nobody, and we're only looking at a witch hunt when it comes to NK. I like to prove them wrong. So, again, I thank you guys for being here. Please take care, be safe. As always, keep nerding on, and we will see you guys in the next video.